It's not even worth mentioning this guy's name. I mean, he does not represent America. This is the same guy that said that the U.S. government is involved in Oklahoma bombings and 9/11. So it's just he really lives in the land of wacky.
Some guy on the radio. We don't really know who he is.
I don't know because I don't pay attention to him. And what's his face?
Whoever that guy was.
A guy that we don't talk about very often because he's so insignificant and we don't really care. But he's
He's also psycho.
Yeah, he's
Can we just say what it is?
he's a really spooky guy. And you just have to be careful of it. And as long as you know who he is, it's fine.
They've tried to ignore us in past decades, and now they can't.
The talk show host is Alex Jones. He's a conspiracy theorist. He's kind of like the guru, the king of the conspiracy theorists. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's considered legit among the crazies.
The king of conspiracy, radio show host Alex Jones.
Alex Jones, king of the conspiracy theorists.
I'm not the king of conspiracy, I'm the king of reality.
Conspiracy theorist Alex Jones.
Conspiracy theorist Alex Jones.
Conspiracy theorists and conservative radio hosts like Alex Jones.
They just marginalize him by calling him a conspiracy theorist.
Quasi-journalists such as Alex Jones.
The outrageous Alex Jones.
Most dishonest, journalists of our age.
Jones is arguably the nation's premier purveyor of what could be called paranoia porn.
He's not a conservative. He's not a conservative. I don't know what he is except a conspiracy theorist.
Conspiracy theorist, you relish the word.
Alex Jones is a lunatic, an absolute diehard, insane lunatic. Alex Jones has forwarded some of the most outrageous, ridiculous conspiracy theories about how the world works.
All you've got is shooting your mouth off with that cliched term.
He is pushing outright lies and propaganda on a regular basis, and I think it ultimately subverts the important real journalism that independent journalists are doing on a regular basis by giving the impression that everyone's running around wearing a tinfoil hat.
Now, here comes the lunatic conspiracy theory of the night.
You want to call me a conspiracy theory for saying that? I can read the legislation.
His new conspiracy theory could be his most ridiculous yet.
You could have gone to the document instead of sitting there saying I was a conspiracy theorist.
Look, the guy's mentally disturbed.
Wow. Little Twilight Zone there.
The media will handle him. The disinformation campaign will go out. They're going to try to label this very sane, very reasoned, very learned, very skilled man as a crazy loon, as an off-the-charts madman.
This guy's beautiful mind. He goes into his room and starts drawing things on a chalkboard. Right? And then 2 squared is 4, but the 4 squared is like 28. Oh my God. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, man.
I think he is psycho.
Because he's drawing up things, and the square root of 28 is this. Guy's lost his freaking mind.
He can see a lot of things that other people can't see.
It's like a conspiracy around every corner and in everyone's eyes.
It's in a CIA memo from 1963 that you say, conspiracy theory, tinfoil hat. I mean, that's declassified. The CIA, right after they killed Kennedy, put out these talking points.
If you talk to Alex for any length of time, you discover all kinds of things that you didn't know about the world.
We've blown it wide open.
You have absolutely blown it wide open.
This guy's agenda is that the United States government blew up the World Trade Center. So when you start with that premise, you're in a whole different category.
Yeah, and remember, put yourself back a few years. I know we have short memories, but this is the guy who was convincing 50% of Democrats that George W. Bush was responsible for bringing down the World Trade Center. He was that close with them.
You're trying to create a partisan wedge to keep people in the partisan left-right paradigm. Look, man, I'm way past this junior high control
I got
stuff.
that. I got that.
He thinks that George Walker Bush, the President of the United States, ordered the destruction of 9/11. He's the guy that, with some sort of pumping action, blew up the World Trade Centers and the Pentagon. He did it. That's what this nutcase believes.
He was essentially comparing President Bush to Adolf Hitler.
Yeah. I was the first to expose 9/11 on the day. In fact, 2 months before, I had intel that elements of the military-industrial complex were going to carry out the attack. I said they'll use bin Laden, the known CIA asset, as their patsy to take the blame for attacking the towers. If any terrorism comes, it's from this government. And if there was an outside threat like a bin Laden, who was a known CIA asset in the 80s, running the Mujahideen war, and whose family builds all the military bases over in Saudi Arabia right now, he's the boogeyman they need in this Orwellian phony system.
And now we have come to a decision that maybe the United States is looking for a boogeyman always.
That conspiracy theory comes from the mother of all conspiracy theory. It's an internet talk show called InfoWars.
These political fringe sites, they have facts, they have figures, they quote people, yet they're treated by much of the media as if they're somehow credible, that a quote from one of those sites is no different than something from the New York Times.
We've got to have the media call anyone that questions us conspiracy theorists, and any media that's not the Washington Post or New York Times is a conspiracy theory.
The website InfoWars, a paranoid online haven run by Alex Jones.
He's on the internet and he's got a lot of followers, he's got a big website.
He usually preaches to his own little paranoid choir.
I think that this internet stuff with this access now that people have has made more crazy people.
Really smart people have come up to me and said, you know, I just saw this on something from InfoWars. Do you know anything about it? And I'm like,
yes,
yeah, stay away from it. You have to be careful of who you get your news from. Well, I got it from InfoWars. And I'm like, okay, well,
no.
Then I can tell you right now, it's most likely not true.
You can't trust a word the guy says.
Yeah, the word.
The system is extremely threatened by us telling the truth. They're extremely threatened by the fact that they've been caught lying and engaging in so much oppression and so much corruption for so long that they're really floundering around.
The important thing about what Alex Jones is about, what he represents, is that he has pushed out completely baseless conspiracy theories to literally tens of millions of Americans out there, many of whom actually believe what he says.
What really would concern me about somebody like him is the amount of influence he has, a growing influence. As he boasted, he's got millions of people listening to him. Some of his YouTube rants have got tens of millions of people watching them. And he foments this fear of a tyrannical regime.
Jones is the wildly popular conspiracy theorist whose stories often make their way from his website InfoWars, where on any day you can find headlines about vaccines, mass fluoridation, and the 9/11 cover-up, into the so-called mainstream GOP establishment.
In every tragedy, the InfoWars Alex Jones world thinks they see a conspiracy.
Every time there is a mass shooting or a terrorist attack, Jones is quick to blame them on the government or global forces. From September the 11th to the Boston Marathon bombings, Jones calls acts of violence false flag operations.
And he's been on the air since day one saying that this is a job of the FBI. It's a false flag job. You heard the reporter question as to whether it was false flag job, meaning, you know, is this just, you know, they're twisting it around to make it look like it's something else, another entity, but really is the government. It's so sick, and this guy's an idiot, and, you know, the people at the press conference totally ignored it. I think that they didn't throw him out.
We know the Gulf of Tonkin was staged, so we know that governments allow attacks to happen. We know that governments sometimes actually stage attacks. So in a lot of cases, they open the door. That's what 9/11 Truth is saying.
You're making some very serious allegations against the U.S. government, saying that they stage attacks, they allow them to occur in the United States against U.S. citizens.
That's declassified.
What? No, what evidence do you have to support any of that?
Well, Gulf of Tonkin is very, very well documented, but...
I mean, what are you talking about? Hold on. It's in Army field manuals to stage false flag attacks, declassified 2004. And how dare us say government might ever let terrorists attack us or might provocateurum, even though it's in the New York Times and Associated Press and well known. I mean, how dare us? How dare you say I had sex with that woman, Monica Lewinsky? How dare you? How dare you? You're like, what, do you like Saddam? No, I don't like fake wars, blaming a country for 9/11 that wasn't involved.
Yes, this is the same guy who has been selling the idea that the massacre at Sandy Hook Elementary School and the massacre at Aurora, Colorado were actually fake. They were faked as an excuse to take away our guns and enslave us to the giant wasps who hive beneath the UN building or whatever. It's the same guy who says the Boston bombing was also fake. It was faked for political purposes. The same guy who says he doesn't believe the Columbia Space Shuttle disaster actually happened. He doesn't believe there was actually an Oklahoma City bombing. If you like InfoWars, which is a show hosted by a man named Alex Jones, if you like Glenn Beck and you like Alex Jones, who says we faked the moon landing, and that 9/11 was an elaborate hoax, and that it was secretly the White House that bombed the Boston Marathon. Michelle Obama was totally in on it. And also, there was no massacre at Sandy Hook Elementary School. All of those things were hoaxes. They were all faked by the government so we can be enslaved in FEMA concentration camps with the black helicopters and have our organs harvested for the aliens or whatever.
The zealotry of the far, far right fringe, and Alex Jones is unbowed.
Yeah, Alex Jones' conspiratorial froth is not just bubbling up among random elected Republicans in state legislatures whose names aren't worth bothering pronouncing on television. This sort of stuff is also sloshing into the U.S. Congress.
It's as if Alex Jones is now the head of the Republican Party, because every conspiracy theory are all coming together, and they've created this narrative, but it's all out of their talk radio base. It's all out of their right-wing online base, and they've now converged on Congress, and they've pulled them into the conspiracy theorizing too. It's brilliant.
The Alex Jones YouTube channel has over 300 million views.
You can't dismiss him as just a crackpot, because millions of Americans tune into him now on a daily basis and believe what he says.
Yesterday afternoon, Matt Drudge, who's the purveyor of the most influential conservative website in the country, the Drudge Report, yesterday afternoon, Matt Drudge tweeted this. He tweeted, "I've privately told friends that this will be the year of Alex Jones. One hell of a broadcast in such a homogenized media." Again, this is from the most influential figure in conservative media who is not named Roger Ailes at Fox News Channel.
Matt Drudge is a legend on the internet. Every journalist and politician in America reads his website on a daily basis. He's a powerhouse and reports to no one. Check out these numbers. About 33 million visits in just the last 24 hours alone. Almost 900 million in the last month, and get this, over 11 billion in the last year. Some people love him, some people hate him, and the White House may fear him because they can't control him.
Matt Drudge was the past, the present, and the future because he likes liberty. He likes the truth. He likes the racy reality of standing up to tyranny. He's the future. He's independent. You're the past. I'm independent, I'm the future, you're the past. Web traffic's been about 10 times what it usually is. Now it's only about 5 times right now. Because we're the future, you're the past.
Through this kind of Alex Jones, Drudge, Fox News, Rand Paul axis, is you have a way of these ideas moving quite to the center of the Republican Party and the Republican presidential campaign.
So you said what's different, right? I mean, we had congressmen who kind of flirted with this sort of thing before. We never had somebody who's seen as a presidential frontrunner who more or less endorsed this sort of thing.
Saying, I've learned everything I know about the Bilderberg conspiracy from listening to Alex Jones on tape.
Do you know anything about the Bilderberg group?
Only what I've learned from Alex Jones.
Right. I mean, this is astonishing. You know, I feel like you kind of have seen Alex Jones-ish ideas filtering into the Republican Party for a long time. He co-hosted a show, one show with Judge Napolitano, the Fox News guy.
Judge Napolitano simulcasting from Freedom Watch at FoxNews.com with Alex Jones, the great Alex Jones, on the Alex Jones radio show. The one, the only, the great Alex Jones on Alex Jones Radio.
So we're exposing the New World Order here, Judge.
Well, I appreciate what you're exposing. I thought that the summary you just gave was terrific. I must tell you that there was a time when the types of things that you were warning against was not discussed openly and publicly.
Judge Napolitano, I want to thank you so much for having this simulcast, and I want to invite you on my show anytime, my friend.
Same from me to thee. Thanks, Alex Jones. It's absolutely been a pleasure.
Thank you. All right, thank you, Fox. You guys are getting radical having me on over there.
Natural law.
You've kind of seen them, edging up to him, but the idea that, yes, that he's a kind of authority figure for a major Republican politician talking about what he knows about the world, that's new.
What do we do when this stuff gets so mainstreamed on the American right that it seeps out of the far edge of your AM radio dial at 3 in the morning? It seeps out of that lucrative fringe market and it leaks into, say, the U.S. Congress. And now this week, the Republicans convened a whole congressional hearing, a House Committee on Government Oversight hearing on the right-wing conspiracy theory that the government is stockpiling ammunition to kill us all or something, or to at least buy all the bullets so that you can't get any, so that you can't stop them from killing us all. This is a longtime favorite cause of the InfoWars world, and now it's playing in Congress. Alex Jones should be disqualified from participating in Republican Party politics. His crackpot theories shouldn't prompt actual hearings in Congress, and they shouldn't inspire actual legislation in Congress, and you shouldn't do a money bomb on his show when you are running for Congress. Do not fundraise on this theater of the absurd by showing yourself to be one with this guy. Really. Can we agree that it's over now? Republicans going on his show? Really? Can we agree? Please?
You've got Rachel Maddow saying, it's time to not give him attention. It's time to not listen to him. Please, Republicans, stop giving him power, which is a pure attempt to not listen to Alex Jones, to not have Alex Jones on the radio, to not have people come on my show. What are you doing? Because I care about you, Republicans. I just whatever you do, don't talk about him. Don't listen to him. Listen, he's the kook saying the government can't be trusted. He's the kook saying there's tyranny. He's the kook saying they're buying billions of bullets and armored vehicles and preparing an illegal war. And if people listen, we won't be able to have our takeover plan and stage a false flag and take over. This guy's kryptonite to us. This guy's like high noon to Count Dracula. Whatever you do, please bury him somehow. Stop him. Don't look at him. It's horrible. Oh my God. She looks like her house is burning down when she attacks me because they know they have no viewers. They know all they have is jellyfish watching that are idiots. The MSNBC host with her dwindling audience. I mean, we're talking on a good night, 600, 700,000 viewers.
MSNBC is here. They're a little overwhelmed. They've never seen an audience this big before.
Mouse that roared, who sits there on your little teleprompter pedestal trying to convince your dwindling audience of cult members, a bunch of arrogant, social engineering authoritarians posing as liberals. You are no liberal.
The Alex Jones conspiracy theory website, InfoWars.
Conspiracy theory website. That's what of course, he dismisses InfoWars as being this internet conspiracy site. Really? It's got more news than MSNBC, and it's got a lot more followers. Take a look at some of these numbers. Pull up there, guys, the YouTube channel that MSNBC has. They've been up since 2011, and they've got 142,000 views. InfoWars has got 371 million since 2007. See, they're dying. Nobody's paying attention to them because it's false, it's phony.
It's hardly breaking news that the public has soured on the media, but the latest figures are truly sobering. 80% of Americans believe TV and newspaper reporters are dishonest and unethical, according to a Gallup poll. 80%, putting them barely ahead of car salesmen and members of Congress.
Faith in American institutions is at an all-time low. We've told you this for years now.
According to a new Gallup poll, American distrust of the news media reached an all-time high this year.
Their ratings are all dropping, our ratings are going up, and they know that, and they're upset, and so they're circling the wagons. I have 3 million radio listeners a day. That's a low number. I get about 50 million YouTube views a month. That's a very conservative number. I make films, put them online for free, that get watched 40 million times, like the Obama deception. The old dinosaur media, the state-run media, is in free fall. You have a perfect storm of state-run media and government wanting to control information. The Pentagon announced last year that because of the Drudge Report and other alternative media, they can't lie anymore. Remember that press conference by the Undersecretary of the Defense?
And we cannot hide our bad news stories. Bad news gets out one way or the other, and we must come to terms with telling the bad stories as well as the good. When bad things happen, the American people should hear it from us, not as a scoop on the Drudge Report.
You're doing an interview and you say one thing, you could end up being on the front page of Drudge.
They know we have the initiative, and we are blowing them to hell in the info war.
The US is losing an information war to alternative media outlets. That's the message from Hillary Clinton to Congress members. The US Secretary of State says Washington needs to step up its propaganda efforts.
We are in an information war, and we are losing that war. I'll be very blunt in my assessment.
We are wrecking them. I mean, this is what life is all about. Savaging scum in the info war, overrunning them, not listening to their propaganda, using the truth to absolutely smash them into a pile of wreckage. And just to be committed to this and fearless, it's just such a blessing. Thank you, God. We need to really be conscious of how real this war is and how they've declared war on us.
Bombing suspects may not have been the radical jihadists they were initially believed to be. Older brother Tamerlan Tsarnaev was reportedly a fan of far right-wing conspiracy theorist Alex Jones. The idea that Tamerlan Tsarnaev may have been influenced and motivated by some of the stuff that is happening domestically here in terms of far-right conservative fringe movements is fairly shocking.
Where is the culpability? Where does the responsibility lie with the Alex Joneses of the world?
When you have people like Alex Jones stoking this kind of behavior, should we be worried that this eventually escalates into violence?
They basically say I influenced the Boston bombers.
The racial piece of this isn't going anywhere. I mean, Alex Jones may sound crazy, but still has 300 million YouTube, he had 300 million people that have watched him on YouTube, and that sort of fringe, arch-conservative, deeply, I think, racist strain is being tapped into at crazy profit by people in the media.
Well, it is, and I think that the point you just made is the key thing, at crazy profit. These folks are getting paid to be racist. They're being paid to be ignorant publicly, to get out there and espouse these views that a vast majority of Americans don't subscribe to. So you take 300 million views of a particular site, we were just talking about offset. You're talking about a very small percentage of people actually kind of like sitting there going, yeah, feed me more. But it does continue the narrative of the subtext of race.
It's a big deal when somebody says you're a racist with no proof. It's a big deal to make things up about me with no proof and to insult your audience by doing that. It is truly outrageous. It shows the establishment itself is threatened by the awakening that is happening. And again, they said I'm behind the terrorist and I'm a deeply racist person, which anyone that's heard my show knows isn't true. But again, they know it's a lie, folks. They think they're protected because the White House is behind them. They've identified Infowars.com and the journalistic system we're building as a major threat. That's what the MSNBC segment is, a premeditated attack.
Monday's devastating record-breaking tornado in Moore, Oklahoma, killed 24 people and flattened a community. Just devastating. Devastating, right? But now, I am not kidding, these same conspiracy theory folks are peddling the idea that the tornado was a conspiracy as well. Seriously, the tornado was a conspiracy.
And, tornadoes are way down. Of course, they lie and say they're way up to try to get carbon taxes. But I don't know if this was a weather weapon or not, but they can, with the right weather conditions, they can create and steer groups of tornadoes. If people 50 miles out as these storm systems, and they see aircraft in and around the clouds spraying and doing things, if you saw that, you better bet your bottom dollar they did this. But who knows if they did? That's the thing.
Who knows? Who knows if the U.S. government uses a secret made-up weather weapon that only exists in the mind of, He says the tornado was a conspiracy. The tornado.
I don't want to fight with Rachel Maddow, who attacks me and lies about me constantly. Rachel Maddow coming out and lying, saying that I said Obama sent a tornado to hit Oklahoma City. When a caller said, I think it's weather weapons. And I said, well, there are weather weapons. That's real, but I don't think this is a weather weapon. That turned into, I said Obama did it. And she had a big graphic up there with my face saying, twisted. I'm twisted. Maybe I am twisted. That's why I can see all your crap. If I'm twisted, thank the maker that I'm twisted. Thank Jehovah I'm twisted. Thank Yeshua I'm twisted. Thank Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, that I'm twisted. If I'm twisted, Lord, give me more twisting. Twist me up.
If you're a conspiracy theorist who believes in the Glenn Beck, Alex Jones view of the world, well, that doesn't mean you don't need love.
Some people are saying about me that I'm a conspiracy theorist. Really?
Everything that anyone would ever say about me on conspiracy theory, it's Alex Jones. And when they try to make me look like a conspiracy theorist, they always use his arguments and assign them to me. Mm-hmm. I'm not the FEMA camp guy. No. I'm not the birther guy. I'm not the World Trade Center guy. That's not me. That's him. And they use his arguments and assign them to me.
Which you've never espoused.
I've never espoused. Never. I don't believe in them. In fact, I wholly reject them.
You've got Glenn Beck saying I'm a spooky fascist and a liar with no evidence. And I personally don't listen to him. Every once in a while, I randomly tune in and he's talking bad about me.
I think Alex Jones is as dangerous as anybody on the left. As any of the too. Occupy Wall Street.
Maybe more.
Yeah, these guys are really, really dangerous.
Beck said that we want violent overthrow of the U.S. government? InfoWars, by name.
They think, oh, well, you know, this will start a revolution, and then we'll have a glorious revolution, and we'll get our country back.
How do you think that works out well? I don't get that.
No idea.
I think that works.
I mean, these are people who are very dangerous. We've had run-ins with them before. They're very dangerous.
He's now saying the violent group is the Alex Jones side. It's a big deal when they say that you want to overthrow the U.S. government and have violence to, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8 million people a day. I mean, that's really meant to hurt me.
The government is going to say, come to us, even stronger than they are. The Alex Jones people are going to say, come to us, because we'll free you from that. And we have to be saying, don't do either. Don't. Stay with God.
Stay right here.
Stay with God.
He's like, don't be with Alex Jones, be with the government, be with God. And he pulls his hands into him. Be with God. Be with Glenn Beck.
Stay peaceful, stay kind, help people, be charitable. It's going to get ugly.
If some plant comes or some schizophrenic shows up and shoots somebody, that's going to happen in a volatile country melting down in a depression. There'll be real stuff that happens. Well, it's all been cast. Glenn Beck tried to stop it. Alex Jones caused it. Sorry, buddy. We've got all the clips where I've exposed everything. It's all on record. You're not going to frame me. Just like the Southern Poverty Law Center, within 2 hours of a drunk Marine Corps wash-up who had 2 pit bulls and his mother tried to kick him out, and he slapped her around, and the cops came and he shot 3 of them. And within 2 hours, Richard Poplawski, they had it on the news that he did it for me. Within 2 hours, off his computer. Turned out he was a white supremacist calling for my death, stalking me online for 2 years, all over the websites, and attacking me. And we found all of it, and it was admitted they had to retract. Now, why within 2 hours of 3 cops getting shot in Pittsburgh would they be blaming Alex Jones? Why would they blame him for the Boston bombing? Why would they do all this? Because, folks, they know I've got their whole plan. You're going to have the government bomb another federal building with a daycare center, and it doesn't matter. We have the names of who did it. They'll just blame us. And then he'll say, see, I told you I'm not with them. His FBI handlers are telling him, you need to separate yourselves from these people because something's coming. And he's going to point his finger and say, I told you Alex Jones and his group was causing this. And MSNBC's already saying Alex Jones is going to cause bombings. In Media Matters, White House run, they're all saying with the same voice, Alex Jones is the bad man. When it all comes down, we all know who to blame, don't we? What's his name? ALEXJONES. What does it spell? Terrorist Texan. Man that wanted violence. You don't want to be with those that want violence, Alex Jones, that are offering you freedom.
Are you the Malcolm X and the Malcolm X side, or are you the Martin Luther King side?
I'm both.
I'm on the Martin Luther King side, because that's the winning side. I mean, I hate to be cryptic, but I'm not going to give these guys any more press. You know, Alex Jones, you piece of garbage. I don't know what your deal is. I really don't know, and I don't care.
You don't know what my deal is, you jackass? When you have been trying to hold me down for at least 6 years? I mean, I've talked to your confidants, famous people. Every time you get around some famous person, you start running me down and saying people shouldn't come on my show. And you blocked me from going on Fox as a guest one time when I was there for that. You jerk.
If you actually cared about the things you were talking about, you would actually use your brain and start to find different ways than just going to your kook friends in your basement. What you would do is you would actually say with some credibility, this is true. And these are the ways that we can.
That's enough. I mean, he didn't even say what I'm lying about. It's just that there are no basements in Texas, bud. I mean, I don't care when MSNBC says it with 500,000 viewers and people know they're a pack of liars. That's a big deal when Glenn Beck does that to me. And I don't know what he thinks I'm going to do. I mean, I'm not going to take that line down. Look, what you're doing is torturous interference. I know you're obsessed with my show. I know you watch it for years and take our guest and spin it. I don't care. That's fine. I just want to defeat tyranny. We have internal sources in Fox that Glenn Beck literally copies everything I do, but then twists it into a pro-war, pro-Patriot Act, pro-banker bailout version or doppelganger of what I do. And so they see me as some of their main competition. Years ago, I learned he had like 4 or 5 people tracking everything we do. Hundreds of publications in the last year and a half kept saying Glenn Beck is riffing off of Alex Jones. Glenn Beck is copying Alex Jones.
It is this global government structure. We want to establish a global government system. These are a group of people that believe in global government because we know that there's a move towards global government bringing us into a one world government. A one world government, a new world order. And for many years, I've been exposing the criminal activities of the global elite, otherwise known as the New World Order, also known as the New World Order, also known as the New World Order. They came up with the idea of the Council of Foreign Relations. It started something called the Council of Foreign Relations. The Council of Foreign Relations. I'm going to ask you about the Council of Foreign Relations. Okay. The Council on Foreign Relations. This in my hands is yet another piece of legislation, except this is global legislation. This is the Framework Convention on Climate Change from the United Nations. The United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. And the Fed, because that's where the money printing is happening. Printing your own money and printing up money. How much money we're printing at the Federal Reserve. Greenspan in the Federal Reserve, who set the monetary policy that is now could cause a major depression. It's his fault for printing $5 trillion. Obama announced plans for a national ID card. Having a national ID card worn around your neck, as Gephardt is now proposing, is because those pushing globalism and government control on a global level have mastered the art of hiding it in plain sight. We are going to uncover the truth that has been hidden in plain sight. It's hidden in plain view. The whole thing's hidden in plain view. Hidden in plain view. Hidden in plain view. They refer to it as sustainable development. Sustainability. Watch out for that word.
But that's what the establishment does. And of course, they're going to have a counterfeit of myself out there to play the part of anti-establishment who really is pro-establishment. But he starts it all the time because he's extremely obsessed with me and extremely jealous. I mean, literally, to hear someone take everything I stand for and turn it on its head, and to know that he's got a whole group of people that watch our show and rip all our stories off and don't give us credit and do all that, but his people listen and like the show. That's why they send us stuff behind the scenes and apologize. And he'll run around trying to find out who that is. It's like half your people, dumbass. They listen to the show and they don't like hearing your garbage. They know I'm good. They know I'm not against you. They know I care. They know I don't want a violent revolution. And they know you're a big, fat cult leader liar. Again, this is not alleged. In this article, in the terrorism section, both of these, I'm in the terrorist section. It says this action was taken after FoxNews.com inquired about the online comment to the authorities. And so now we know that Fox is culling through my website and reporting us to Homeland Security. This is a very serious dirty trick. And so I'm not attacking Fox. I'm being attacked, and I'm defending myself and pointing out that not just Fox, but a concerted mainstream media effort in the United States by the Southern Poverty Law Center, ADL, and others to paint me as someone who wants law enforcement to be killed, which is completely made up. So they're definitely setting me up right now, framing me for some type of law enforcement action.
Alex, I was going to ask you if they perhaps maybe feel threatened by you. It's interesting because Fox keeps trying to convey that it isn't the mainstream news and that it's alternative. Yet lately we've heard story after story about the channel employing the same kind of editorial practices as its competitors. So, I mean, do you actually feel that Fox is threatened by your growing popularity and the fact that you're maybe not afraid to say exactly what you think?
Absolutely. And we expose the banker bailout. We expose false flag terror. We'll cover real news. Fox won't do that. And so, yes, they are threatened by myself and many others. They've come into the Tea Parties that were grassroots, Ron Paul type organizations, and they've tried to create a twisted clone of that to take over what Ron Paul's doing, to take over what I'm doing and many others. So they see us all basically as a threat, and so that's why they're attacking us. They are there to control anti-establishment movements and populist movements and take them over and steer them into the Republican Party to keep the population in the left-right paradigm so we don't have real change towards freedom and accountability in this country. Fox News works for the very same offshore banking oligarchs that Barack Obama does, and I really appreciate you for having me on to cover this important issue.
All right, well, Alex Jones, thank you so much for talking to me. This isn't the first time his website has been attacked. Maybe it'll happen again. We'll be talking to him in the weeks ahead, I'm sure.
They were obsessed with asking if I wanted to work at Fox News. And I said, no, 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 no. I do not want to work at Fox News. I do not want to work at Fox News. I want to do what I'm doing. And they ignored all that and put a quote in the magazine, in the article, talking to the president of programming or whatever at Fox Television, the guy running Fox News, the guy running to Roger Ailes, who really is the programmer. And the guy said, Alex wants to be on Fox, but we don't want him. So again, this is all part of their illusion. All the mainstream media, who, by the way, are all losing viewers. Fox is losing viewers as well. They're just at the top of the sinking ship. So they're like at the top of the mast. The alternative media is taking over. It's not that I care about Fox News' arrogant statement about me, because it gets at me. It's done so that readers marvel at Fox like some Valhalla or some Mount Olympus where the gods live, that unknown country, the magic of it, the info babes looking at the teleprompter like they sexually desire it, so men watch TV and feel like it's their girlfriend. That's why the government buildings are so big, the bank buildings are so big, the big marble columns. It's about making you feel small. My show is bigger than any one Fox News show, conservatively. AM, FM, shortwave, satellite, XM, shortwave. I mean, go look at the numbers. Way bigger than any one Fox News show. Legends in their own mind. See, I live in the real world, and they all go with the same story. Alex Jones said he had a secret document, but it's not secret. The police knew all about it. Changing the subject. Or Alex said the feds would seize Texas this year and that it was an actual invasion. No, I said it was training for that. So see, they build straw men to try to discredit us. And it is the same attack piece over and over again. Jade Helm, the pretend invasion of Texas that's driving the web crazy. Now, we all know what they first did last week. They first said we didn't have the document and it wasn't real. Then they said they couldn't confirm the document. Then they said, okay, we've got the document, but it's for overseas training, even though it says it's for domestic as well as overseas. So they changed the subject over and over again. And then Fox News, following the same talking point, says, well, there's a talk show host who said it was in a secret document, but it wasn't. They don't say who I am or show what I said, because you actually go hear what I said. They just misrepresent. And they go, and another site picked it up. They're talking about Drudge. And then that's when everybody went crazy. Here's the clip with Megyn Kelly on Fox News yesterday.
Jade Helm 15. While the military says it's just training soldiers for the realities of war.
But in the slideshow of the training exercise, it says Texas will be simulated hostile territory. While that hostile characterization didn't sit well with a far-right radio host in Austin who told his listeners that he had access to the secret document that details a federal takeover in Texas.
That's the anatomy of the deception. And notice, it's not Fox getting it wrong. That's the same disinfo in the hundreds of newspapers. What you heard is directly from the Pentagon deceiving the American people. We did not say it was secret. We said it was public. That's what we said. But see, they won't name the websites. They won't name the host because they don't want people actually coming to hear what we really said or wrote. They want to misrepresent, straw man its deception. They'll declare straw man victories against those of us that tell the truth. As our support rises, as there falls, they will announce we're defeated. Those are the games they play. And that's just one example I use that are constant to manipulate you. And only if you're being weak-minded can it work. The minute you start getting informed, it's over for them. And as the mainstream media is discredited, they're going to segue to Comedy Central and movies and drama. That's where the real propaganda is. They create a mock Infowars.com website and then have it with a ridiculous conspiracy theory. And this is done at a subliminal level because you cannot read it when they flash it up there for 1 second. But your subconscious mind did, and we're seeing this all over the place. Comedy Central show chides InfoWars with clone websites. Segment features main character browsing conspiracy wars, which is the same logo as ours, with crazy headline.
It's only 2 seconds, and it goes by very fast. Here it is again. It was quick, but it says Michael Jackson lives in Richard Branson's space condo. The header on the fictitious website says Conspiracy Wars, which is clearly an exact replica of InfoWars' website.
And when they're demonizing Infowars.com and yours truly, we're going to talk about it because we're getting attacked because we're on target. The show isn't about Alex Jones is getting attacked, but we're getting attacked so much we've got to cover it to further discredit the system and to show people why they're attacking us. Because we know what these dirty rats are up to.
We've seen this again and again. They've attacked Alex Jones and InfoWars. We've been featured in a plethora of video games as well as movies.
And in the movie, the main character goes off on a racist rampage during a town hall meeting because he's been brainwashed by Alex Jones.
That is quite enough.
That is because you are taking marching orders from Barack Obama, that socialist nigger in the White House. Yes, you are. You are being bullied by him.
So there you go. The character, in a sudden fit of anger, calls President Barack Obama a socialist N-word. Then he says that the federal government is run by the Jews. And next, he says that it's all true because he heard it on the Alex Jones show. This as he's being escorted out of the building by the police.
All the liberal Jew-run media and their enablers,
Dave?
they are authorizing the corporate elite in this country.
Dave, don't make...
I heard that on Alex Jones, so it's true.
Dave?
I heard it on Alex Jones, so I know it's true.
Remove
You're the
from
fault,
the
Miss
floor.
Caserta. You will hear me.
It got me thinking of the times that I've seen Alex Jones in town hall meetings, and he never acted anything like the character in the film.
Now, I believe this council is made up of good people. So this is why we restrict the scope and size of government and its power over us in our lives. Because we know there's criminals on the street, we know there's bad people, but they don't have the massive mechanisms, the machinery of government and military and militarized police and prison complexes to oppress at levels never before seen. I challenge members of this distinguished body to be part of history, to not abstain, to get out on the field in your life, and you'll truly be alive. To not sell out to this corrupt system. It's like they're trying to make me a meme of you know, rapist, racist, because they know I've got their number.
This man, Alex Jones, is pushing a lot of buttons. When Jones went on CNN's Piers Morgan tonight,
Alex, why'd our government ship guns into Mexico?
Alex, to discuss gun control in the wake of the Sandy Hook massacre,
you're a hatchet man of the New World Order.
He created a sensation. This video went massively viral.
Everybody should watch this thing on YouTube. This crazy guy, Alex Jones. This will tell you what the face of the enemy looks like on this issue better than anything we can say here. This guy is crazy.
And the guy was just like fucking crazy. I mean, like, I like this kind of stuff.
He was like a real American.
Yeah, listen to this. This goes for a while, but it's good. We'll listen to it.
Those men raped that woman in India to death with an iron rod 4 feet long. You can't ban the iron rods. The guns, the iron rods, Pierce, didn't do it. The tyrants did it. Hitler took the guns. Stalin took the guns. Mao took the guns. Fidel Castro took the guns. Hugo Chavez took the guns. And I'm here to tell you, 1776 will commence again if you try to take our firearms. Doesn't matter how many lemmings you get out there on the street begging for them to have their guns taken. We will not relinquish them. Do you understand? And that's why you're going to fail, and the establishment knows no matter how much propaganda, the Republic will rise again when you attempt to take our guns. My family in the Texas Revolution against Santa Anna, my family was at the core on both sides starting that. Because Santa Anna came to take the guns at Gonzales, Texas. Pierce, don't try what your ancestors did before. Why don't you come to America? I'll take you out shooting. You can become an American and join the Republic.
You finished?
Yes, I am finished. You will not take my right. You go through background checks to get guns. How about Prozac? You know the number one. Oh, that's the big sponsor, isn't it? Or that whole class of drugs.
Let me ask you a question.
Oh, got to cut that off, don't you? Don't want to talk about the U.S. number one cause of death is suicide now because they give people suicide mass murder pills.
Calm down.
Your answer is give more money to the psychiatrists and psychologists to put more crazy people on drugs that make them kill people, Pierce.
Let's try and have a debate here.
Yeah.
Answer me this question.
I'm sick of the same old script here, bud.
It's fine, bud. How many gun murders were there in America last year? Do you know?
There were about 11,458, and about 74% of those were gang-related, gangbangers shooting each other. You get 3,500 to 4,000.
That wasn't the
How many people died from infections in hospitals? 197,000.
Let me just ask you a second.
That's right.
How many gun murders were there in Britain?
How many great white sharks?
No, how many
kill people every year, but they're scared to swim?
Right. How many gun murders were there in Britain?
A very low amount. I already went over those statistics.
Many? Do you know?
It was only a few hundred.
No. How many gun murders?
I actually did pull up the statistics. Here, let me pull them out right here. I figured you'd do that.
Gun murders
in Britain last year. UK violent crime, capital of Europe. London Telegraph. Here, let me give you more.
It's quite a simple question.
Well, that's the oldest.
You're a very loud man.
No, that's the oldest Perry Mason tactic to ask me some little factoid.
Pretty good, right?
Actually, I'm with the guy who's arguing with you.
Yeah, you're against any kind of gun control. I like that guy.
That is the best.
Yeah. Well, he's some sort of, I think he even has a radio show, the guy. You know, he seems to have some facts and stuff.
Right.
It's pretty good. It was good television.
I already said earlier,
We're talking about
England has a lot lower gun crime rate because you took all the guns.
Let me try exactly
but
my
you've
point.
got hordes of people burning down cities and beating old women's brains out every day.
What a ridiculous
They arrest people in England if they defend themselves. That's on record. My God, you've got a total police state. Everybody's fleeing that country because you've had to flee here, bud. Why don't you tell folks? Yeah, you fled here. Why don't you go back and face the charges for the hacking scandal?
Answer this question. How many
Why'd you get fired from the Daily Mirror for putting out fake stories? You're a hatchet man of the New World Order. Okay. You're a hatchet man. And I want to say this right here. You think you're a tough guy? Have me back with a boxing ring in here, and I'll wear red, white, and blue, and you can wear your Jolly Roger.
Okay.
You know what?
Let's try again. How many gun murders were there?
Oh, you're going to ban your fist now?
In Britain last year.
How many chimpanzees can dance on the head of a pin?
Hey, this guy's good.
I love it.
I don't know if Piers was good, but this guy was good.
No, that guy's great.
But good show, Piers. Piers gets a lot of shit, and I told you I like Piers.
Well, he better thank that guy. They better be on together every night.
Yeah, they should bring that guy back. Whatever. His name is Alex Jones.
Okay.
He did start talking to Piers in a British accent. You want to hear that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who do you believe was behind 9/11?
Oh, I absolutely know. I have the police on CNN saying, get back, they're going to blow up 7. I have BBC reporting.
Who do you believe is behind it?
I have the proof. I heard them on CBS Radio.
Who, Alex?
They announced they blew up the towers on CBS Radio.
Who do you believe?
New Yorkers all saw it and heard it.
Alex, who do you believe?
They blew up Building 7.
Alex, who do you believe was behind it? The American government?
Criminal elements of the military-industrial complex, the same ones that staged Gulf of Tonkin, the same ones that staged the mass shootings of Operation Gladio.
Right.
Ooh, the CIA don't like this right now.
Do you mean that President Bush and his administration were behind 9/11?
I mean that even mainstream news reported that the hijack...
I like this guy's whole... I mean... Does that guy, lose his voice ever? I mean, he's yelling and... There's no dialoguing with the guy or anything. He's just wild.
Were ordered to be allowed into the United States. Michael Springman, the head of the VC.
He has kind of a voice, like a hoarse voice. It must be because he's yelling.
Right. I was like, it's already, he's shredding it even now.
He's even like a wrestler.
Department blew the whistle on that.
So the Bush administration was part of a conspiracy.
Well, he said never let us tolerate
to murder.
I can speak in this accent as a man.
But is that what you believe?
Hitler firebombed his own Reichstag, Pierce, to bring in martial law in Germany, April 27th, 1933. Governments have staged terror attacks throughout history or allowed terrorists to attack as a pretext to invade and enslave the populations. I probably own more than 50 firearms. Many of them have increased in value 2, 3, or even 4 times. I sleep very comfortably outside Austin, Texas, knowing that I can defend my family.
Okay, Alex Jones.
Infowars.com.
This is the man who wants to deport me from the country for wanting to get rid of
It's to point out you're a foreigner, a red coat, here telling us what to do.
Whatever.
Go back to where they took the guns if you don't like it. The communists...
Lay him out.
That's good stuff.
This gun control debate is reaching dangerous proportions. Last night, Alex Jones debated Piers Morgan on CNN. Tonight, all they can do is talk about the reaction, and on Piers Morgan's program, they talk about they hope Alex's children don't die. Now, Alex was sitting at home with his family and children. They were freaked out and terrorized by those comments.
I don't want Alex Jones to get the phone call at 3 o'clock in the morning that one of his children have been shot and killed by somebody who shouldn't have a handgun or a rifle or a automatic weapon. I don't want him to get that phone call.
No,
okay.
I think that is the whole point. And
yeah, that is the whole point. Okay, and so I'm watching that, and then the next panel comes on. They fantasize about dressing up in uniforms and shooting me. Here it is.
Challenge Alex Jones to a boxing match, show up with a semi-automatic that you got legally, and pop him.
Daily Beast writer Buzz Bissinger says Piers Morgan should pop Alex Jones with a semi-automatic weapon.
I'd love to see that. In uniform.
Then Abby Huntsman, who looks like her father with a wig on, the governor and ambassador to China, top globalist, just absolute New World Order pusher, said, I'd love to see that. In uniform, because that's psych warfare. Oh, you're in a uniform, you kill him, it's okay.
I'll borrow my brother's uniform.
And Piers goes, maybe I'll wear my brother's, who's been in the military.
So Piers Morgan is saying, I'll borrow my brother's uniform to shoot Alex Jones. Now, people could say, oh, that must be a joke.
Don't talk about killing Alex Jones. Don't even joke about it. This was a veiled threat to try to incite somebody who's crazy to take a gun and shoot Alex Jones.
Up there fantasizing, and I've been around these people behind the scenes with, quote, liberals. All they ever talk about is how they want to shoot us and kill us. See, they're not liberals. They're authoritarians. If I would have said, hey, Piers Morgan, I might get a gun and shoot you, I guarantee you they would have arrested me on the spot. This is becoming a story that's been picked up by several newspapers because they all basically get their newsroom info from DrudgeReport.com. I appreciate Drudge putting that up there because I need coverage of this, or I mean, we're all hanging together here, or we hang separate. I mean, this is really coming down to the wire.
What's your sort of mental and emotional reaction when you hear someone like Alex Jones spew that sort of Armageddon language about guns?
I'm speechless. I really don't even know what to say. I have no comment. Unbelievable.
Okay. Governor, you've experienced, Pennsylvania is relatively free of insane people, but you hear people like Alex, and this guy's talking about the United States government being a tyranny, coming to get his guns, therefore he's well armed, and he's going to take them on.
When I saw that clip, it made me happy, and I'll tell you why. Because it painted out to average Americans as clearly as anything we can say how crazy the other side is.
He was an exhibit, like a piece of evidence. You just see him speaking, and you say to yourself, I don't want that man to have a gun. I wouldn't feel comfortable having an argument with him in his home where he had access to his 50 weapons. And if he got really mad at something I said, or if I disputed his contentions, or I told him he was lying about the FBI statistics, and that he was lying about the claim more guns equal less crime, I would be worried he would grab for his semi-automatic and try to resolve it.
As somebody who favors more gun control, I really hope that Alex Jones does more TV. Because, you know, look, you've been quite articulate in making the case for gun control. Alex Jones was so much more persuasive, I think, for your average middle American in making the case, because people saw somebody who was foaming at the mouth, and they think, you know, this kind of person shouldn't be having, I think he said he had 50 guns around. You know, may he do a lot more of these shows.
I mean, look, it's been trending on Twitter now worldwide, Alex Jones, for 24 hours. I'm sure in many ways he thinks job successfully done. He's probably gone back to Texas, and his fan base, and there are a lot of people that listen to him every day, would have thought, good on him. He came in and took me down. He perfectly exemplifies the problem.
We need probably to see more of the extremists, because that's what's frightening. And the idea that he might have a gun in his hand is terrifying.
Well, he owned 50 guns, which I found the most scary part of the whole thing.
Alex Jones is 101 on why we should have gun control. That guy's going to accidentally shoot somebody, man.
1776 will commence again if you try to take off firearms. We will not relinquish them. Do you understand? Stalin took the guns. Mao took the guns. Fidel Castro took the guns.
Bang. He's got 50 guns in his house. You shouldn't go within like a 20-block perimeter of Alex Jones's house. If you're mowing the lawn or something, or you're picking up the garbage, he's gonna shoot you. That guy's dangerous, man. I'm serious. He's gonna cause some damage.
I noticed that they're saying I'm dangerous, I shouldn't have a platform, and I gotta tell you, it's creepy. This is not the type of attention I like, but I've gotta do it. All I can do is speak up and get in their face and try to get folks out of their trance.
What did you make of what Alex Jones's performance was like, and what did it tell you about that kind of gun rights on the rather extreme side of the gun rights lobby?
That sounds like the ravings of a fascist. That's what that sounds like. And quite honestly, I believe that's what that guy is.
To me, it was really a fairly typical performance for Alex Jones. In a way, it looked like a setup on his part. You know, I think he kind of snuck in there planning to launch into a yelling match.
You see, Piers always dominates everybody else, so I decided just to give it to him with both barrels.
Were you comfortable giving this guy all this airtime, this publicity on your show? Are you going to invite Alex Jones back on your show?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind having him back. I wouldn't mind talking to any of these gun rights people at length. And I think sometimes you have to give people just enough rope to tie themselves into a large, pretty unedifying knot. And that's what happened last night.
We saw you on Piers Morgan, and we became...
And really enjoyed it.
We loved it. I think it was the best Piers Morgan appearance I've ever seen.
Well, folks liked it, and they said it was the highest ratings they've had in their entire 2-year history. But I ran into Piers Morgan in Houston a few weeks ago, and he said they're basically scared to have me back on.
Why?
Why would they be scared of you?
I guess they're afraid of ratings. Well, he said on video, I actually caught it on video down in Houston.
How are you, mate?
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you. You good?
Yeah, I hope you have me back on.
I hear you're a big customer here.
Oh, no, but some of my listeners are. They say it's the best around here.
Yeah. You good? Are you enjoying global fame?
Oh, well, I already had quite a few listeners, but no, it certainly went viral.
Yeah.
That's why we should do another interview.
We might do.
And
my ears haven't recovered yet.
Do what?
My ears haven't recovered.
Well, I didn't blow up on purpose, but I thought it turned out as good for people to think about the debate.
Sure, no, everyone talking. No problem with that.
Are you going to have me back on?
I don't want to promote you that much, Alex.
I know, exactly. But I thought you won the debate, though. You were saying it was the best interview ever.
You said on your Twitter you wanted to shake my hand and have a civilized conversation.
Yes.
There we are.
All right.
Good to see you
We
again.
just had a civilized conversation.
I've had very civilized conversations in Texas since I've been here.
All right, well, good. We'll see. We just had a friendly talk right there.
Good to see you again.
All right, good seeing you. Good luck with the show.
Take care.
Good
to see you guys.
You're scared to have me back on, Pierce?
Thanks, guys.
Because you lost the debate. I won. They said it discredited me, but notice they haven't invited me back.
Right.
They don't want America waking up out of its coma and getting upset. He said, we don't want to give you that much attention. And I'm like, no. It's having controversy on your show that gave you attention and made it the #1 story in the United States for a whole week, Pierce.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, the fact that you have an opinion, a strong opinion, and you're arguing with Piers Morgan, that's always good theater, is it not? I mean, as a radio guy, we know that's good theater.
Sure. It was voted by the LA Times, Hollywood Reporter, and even CNN viewers themselves in different polls to be the #1 political debate moment of 2013. Piers Morgan has now doubled down. His contract is officially up with CNN. They pulled him off the air months ago, as I guess he prepares to move back to England. And Piers Morgan has come out and said that he wants to be remembered in the tweet that we have on screen as the person that did this. And then he links to a YouTube video that has some of the highlights of our discussion. Now think about this for a moment. At this point, he began to lose more and more of his viewers, and over the next year completely collapsed in the ratings. The American people openly turned against him. Mainstream pundits said, we don't need a foreigner lecturing us about our Second Amendment, much less one from England. We had a war with England over their attempt to take our guns in 1776. It completely blew up in his face. The reason this had such an effect and aired on television shows and nightly news programs all over the world was because I called him on his facade. I called him out that he didn't want to just have, quote, reasonable gun control. They wanted to disarm their political slaves.
But he goes on The View, and this is what happens.
We got the TSA putting their hand down people's pants. Infowars.com covers it all. We've got the banks bankrupting the U.S.
Wait. Let's stick with Charlie, because that's way too much for me.
Charlie is mad because he's held up as all the problems. He didn't steal $23.7 trillion like the Federal
We're
Reserve.
just here to figure out what is happening with Charlie. That's what we're trying to figure out.
Oh, they've been comparing him to Gaddafi.
Look, I was just saying, I don't think I
Let's
even
compare
heard
George Bush, $1 million Iraqis, to Gaddafi. Torture, secret arrest, America turning into a police state.
I think we were here to talk about Charlie Sheen.
I don't know if that was the best booking choice.
The real achievement here, Bill, is that this guy made the women on The View seem sane.
No, here's a real achievement. They didn't walk off with that guy.
Yeah, they walked off when you were there, but they actually tolerated him. The other thing is, this guy thinks America is a police state, yet he has a radio program. He is allowed to say whatever he wants. They can never actually...
But this is why it's so dumb. Now, what did the ladies think they were going to get when they invite a guy like this in? I mean, he took the show over, he did exactly what he wanted, and that was it.
He gave me a headache. He gave them a headache.
Well,
I don't know why they booked the guy.
I'm much better when I'm on an enemy program because I know I have limited time and it has a way of focusing me. And then they can't really edit anything out of context, so it makes them angry. That's why they come to the radio show like Rachel Maddow and MSNBC, and I could probably sue them. I could probably get a judgment, even though I'm a public figure, but I don't want to do that. They already hurt themselves worse than they hurt me. If they ever succeed in hurting me, I'll probably sue some people because that's when the lawsuit's a sure thing. And now Bill O'Reilly has come out and said it's time to shut down hate speech in America, and then played a clip of me completely out of context and said there's a lot of sexual hate speech on the internet, and then cuts to a clip of me talking about mercenary assassins, because I know what the clip was out of context. and just says, here's the sexual bad man.
If you surf the net or listen to talk radio, you know there's plenty of hatred being spewed. Facebook having a terrible problem with that, and recently hatred against women has caused a major controversy. Postings have encouraged violence, rape, other atrocities against women.
There's only so many stupid people out there, Republicans. Admittedly, they read kind of fast because they're too dumb.
You know what it's like to go to sleep every night knowing you work for a bunch of psychotic killers and you bastards are probably going to end up killing me one day?
Hate speech. Now Facebook is apologizing for allowing it worldwide. But can anything be done to stop the hatred?
And he just says it's time to stop hate speech and flashes up out of context about a 7-second rant I was making and then turns my face red. I don't sit here and get female employees at my office and call them up every night going, I'll give you a raise if you come over here and have sex with me. That's what Bill O'Reilly settled on out of court. I mean, he's a bully perv. You want to start a fight with me, punk? Huh? You punk? You think you can shove me around? So I'd like to get in a boxing ring with Bill O'Reilly. Bill O'Reilly, I challenge you to a pay-per-view boxing match. You think you're so tough? Come on, you think you're a lot bigger than me? Let's get in the ring, buddy. In fact, you can bring one of your buddies. 'Cause I can only wake up when there's 2 people to fight. You and whoever you want in the ring, let's go, punk. All right, you think you're so tough, you try to intimidate your guests, you get in their face, you turn their mic off, you get in their face and poke your finger in their face, you big fat bully. You're a coward, and that's why you'll take me out of context and call for Facebook to censor myself and others. You want to use me as the poster boy of your censorship, of your attempt to extinguish the fire of liberty? Thank you for throwing me in that briar patch, pal. I've had enough of these cowards, both of these guys, Rachel Maddow and him. I'm sick of them. I'm tired of them. They don't have the will to actually debate me. Come on my show, punk. You're all. He's countless times, because I've been sent the clips, he goes, we don't know who this guy is that was on The View. We don't know who this guy is doing this. Nobody knows who he is. They don't even say who I am when they put me up on TV and say, here's hate speech. I'm just hate speech. You know what my name is? My name is hate speech. You're scared to have me on your show. Of course, you get like 10 million viewers. You normally have about 2 million. Let's pull up his latest ratings. They've dropped a lot. O'Reilly has 3 million viewers, and that's been dropping. The point is, they just put the numbers up on screen, the latest Nielsen's. I mean, sure, you're coming down fast, but you're miles above MSNBC and CNN. But still, I mean, you're jealous. Your radio show failed. You're a failure, and I'm going to get to this. The reason he makes me so mad, and you know I don't attack other people in media until they attack me and lie about me. And he gets up there and agrees we should shut down hate speech, which is anybody criticizing the corrupt media and government. And here I am supporting everybody's free speech, and then they're trying to get us shut down. That's how pathetic these people are. This guy thinks if he ignores us, that's how he suppresses the liberty movement. And then if he just occasionally plays clips out of context, he'll inoculate his audience into disliking us when all you did was send your moderately sized audience over to us, Bill. You actually do have somewhat of an audience from posing as a conservative. Thank you for sending us your audience. Just reminding them we're here so they come over to Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. And I know it hurts you to do it.
Why have so many of the major media outlets not talked about these alternative theories that exist?
A lot of people don't have the courage that you have, AJ.
What do you think they're afraid of that's going to happen to them?
They're afraid of being beaten up by the hordes of neocon intimidators who try to go out there with their Gestapo Nazi tactics to try to bludgeon everybody with their blogs and radio shows to shut up. But they've lost power because people have learned that they're a bunch of liars. They lied about the WMDs. They've lied about everything, and now their credibility is totally blown.
And all these old fake neocons, all these fake conservatives, all these fake liberals, all these socialists, all these authoritarians, they're all the dying dinosaur media in a perfect storm with the rotting government. So it's good that the electorate is waking up. It's good that shows like mine are seen as more and more mainstream, and the conspiracy theory labels being replaced with, wow, these people are informed. So it's now a badge of honor. It doesn't throw the public off that the so-called authority figures of dinosaur media and corrupt government tell you, oh, don't listen to them. They're conspiracy theorists. Why do they have hit pieces every day in major newspapers? Bloomberg, AP, Reuters, Nightline, you name it. because I know what I'm talking about, folks. And these people realize they're losing control of the narrative. That's why they're all panicking. They're sick of hearing about Infowars.com. They're sick of hearing about DrudgeReport.com. And I'm a constitutional populist. I think that's the best way to describe me. The tip of the spear of hardcore truth journalism. We're not left or right, we're right and wrong. Our bias is open. We tell the truth even when it hurts us. I've proven I do that. It was very unpopular to come out and say there's a cover-up of what really happened on 9/11 the day it happened. But I had to. The towers got blown up, and I said, no, the government's clearly involved. And those stations all called, most of them. They said, we're going to turn you off next week. Or we're going to turn you off next month when the contract's up, usually monthly contracts, if you don't stop it right now. I lost 70% of my affiliates, went from over 100 down to about 30. And you know what? I didn't feel bad at all when Ted Anderson came in and he said, all these stations are turning you off. You just lost 10 today. They're warning you. You got to stop now. And I said, Ted, I just can't stop. And it's the truth. And he said, I really respect that, Alex. He goes, fine. You know, you have a place here on the network. You know, we're going to lose at the network at that time millions of dollars. Over the years, and back then I was making hardly any money, and he said, you would get that, but he goes, I respect that, and he goes, so I'll lose millions, you're going to lose millions, and I'm still on this network because Ted Anderson backed me. He said, yeah, you're losing almost all your affiliates and your sponsors, but I'll keep you on even if you go down to nothing, because I just hit the zeitgeist. I had just gone from like 20 stations to over 100. It was boom, spreading all over the country. Because it was hardcore libertarian, the right-wingers liked it, but I came out and spoke bad about their god, George Bush, and I didn't even say he did it all. I just said, look, the government's running Al-Qaeda, they let them attack us bare minimum, but then I only got bigger down the road, but then it only gets scarier, because then it's not even about being on the air or being famous, it is all about the struggle for reality and trying to find that truth. My favorite quote by Mark Twain, he had a lot of great ones, in the beginning a patriot is a scarce man, hated, feared, and scorned, but in time when his cause succeeds, the timid join him. Then it costs nothing to be a patriot. Well, here we are at about 180 affiliates today, telling the same old hardcore truth, but people now know not to trust the system. Are we endorsing radical Islam? Are we saying it doesn't exist and happen? No. Are we saying there was a stand down on 9/11 and it's been used to take our liberties and they now say Homeland Security is for veterans and gun owners? Yes. It's not that we're perfect or always right. We want the truth and we have goodwill towards others. I think we're talking about the philosophy of those of us that want to be free.
You have uncovered the New World Order, which is deadly. It's full of what you call people who are criminals. Well, this is what I'm coming to. It's full of criminals, etc., who seek to run the world and will kill anybody who gets in their way. And you are almost, have been, a lone crusader powering against them.
No,
so how come? How am I alive? How are you still alive?
Why am I alive?
Well, no, which is the
Why am I alive?
Which is the explanation? One, they don't exist. Or two, you're part of the conspiracy.
No, let me tell you a story.
I say the first.
5 years ago, if they kill me, it turns me into a martyr. It puts big exclamation points on the end of what I've said, and I have put out a lot of information. There's millions of others that are exposing it.
Why have we let you on then?
Because you guys think that you can manage the whole thing, and now our information's gotten too big.
You are the worst person I've ever interviewed.
No, it's basically off with their heads, disappear
David, thank you for being with us.
Infowars.com.
11:30. You're watching the Sunday Politics. We have an idiot on the program today. Coming up in just 20 minutes.
You will not stop the Republic. Humanity is awakening. Infowars.com. No, you guys are crazy.
I'll be looking at the week ahead with our political panel. Until then, the Sunday Politics across the UK.
Thinking the public isn't.
He's crazy.
Yeah.
But he's awesome. And
it's a lot of fun to listen to.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun to listen to.
Do you think it's an act?
No, I know him really well.
It's not an act.
He's my friend. But I've known that guy for over 10 years.
No,
Alex Jones is exactly who he presents
so
himself as.
You're not gonna.
You know, Alex is my brother. I love that dude. Every time I go to Austin, I hang out with that guy. We eat dinner. I do his radio show. We did a cool backstage interview with me and Brian recently. I fucking love Alex Jones. And he's right about a lot of shit.
Is that the documents?
But those are the documents. He's got the documents. The validity of some of the shit he's brought up is unquestionable. Right. You know, there's a lot of stuff that he brings up that's like, and by the way, he was bringing it up way ahead of anybody else. During the first days of September 11th, he was calling it a false flag attack, and he was saying that there was possible that buildings were detonated, and like he was sticking himself way, way, way out on a limb. And when he did that, I was like, wow, man, you can't. I was like, you can't say that. That's crazy. You can't say that they're willing to go to war for profit. I thought he was being nuts.
Right.
I was talking to him. I was like, you're just drawing all these conclusions. But next thing you know, we're at war with Iraq, and nobody understands why. And, he's saying it's for profiteering. They're profiteering over there.
Alex was great. He had me on to talk about, this is a topic I'm discussing that is difficult to get people to have you on to talk about it because they...
Yeah, not Alex, though.
No, not Alex
He's
at all.
fucking psyched. We found more corruption. I can't believe this. Yeah. The insanity of it all.
You have to love his passion.
Oh, yeah, I love him. He's a good friend of mine. I love him.
Yeah, he is so passionate, and when you follow your passion, success will follow, and that's happened with Alex.
He's so passionate that people think it's fake. They think that he's like some sort of a CIA plant, and he's like living this lie.
Dude, I have to tell you, after interviewing with him for an hour, he's genuine.
He
is. He genuinely cares about the direction this country's going in, and he's willing to put his neck out on the line.
Yeah.
And that's admirable because you're seeing a lot of people just kind of shut up right now.
Yeah.
And it takes the real heroes to really come forward and talk about everything that's going on.
Or crazy, one or the other.
Yeah. I just want to get people thinking. I want to get people talking. I want to get people to not be cookie cutter and to think outside the whole left-right paradigm. I used to tell folks how the NSA was spying, exactly how they were doing it 16 years ago. It was all declassified. It wasn't secret. How they set it all up. They had to fund it. They had to pass laws to get it. They were unconstitutional. And they would call me a conspiracy theorist. Now nobody's laughing. You can't just call us conspiracy theorists anymore and have us just shut up. The true alternative media that has become the new dominant media by all metrics. MSNBC has 500,000 viewers average show. We have conservatively 3 million. That just gives you an example. We have millions of visitors a day. World Net Daily has millions of visitors a day. Drudge has 15 million a day. But they call themselves the authority at MSNBC and CNN when their audiences go down by about a quarter every year. The American rejection of teleprompter media and the American embracing of teleprompter-free media and liberty-based, truth-based media is taking the world by storm. So I want to thank all the viewers for their support over the years, and I want to thank all of the independent media folks out there that are promoting freedom in the face of this tyranny. We are winning. We have defeated Piers Morgan, and we're going to defeat the entire state-run media complex, no matter how much propaganda, lies, race baiting, and deceit they spew, because liberty and freedom is popular. They have no honor, and they're trying to steal your mind. They're trying to steal a real restoration, a revolution against tyranny. They want to shun it off down a black hole. They don't like the fact that InfoWars, they hate that, .com is setting the agenda more and more, not setting a baloney division agenda, a distraction agenda, a divide and conquer agenda. They're mad because we are unifying liberty lovers of every race, color, creed, gender, ethnicity, sexual persuasion, whatever, around freedom. That's why they don't like us. That's why they're attacking. And we're giving people hope that we can beat the globalists and we can create justice and then we can have a future together. And that's why they're scared, because we carry the light of liberty in our hearts and souls. We come to defeat the New World Order.
If Alex Jones thinks any sane person believes he's deranged, wild conspiracy theories, he can keep on pretending.
I wanna be crazy, crazy like Alex Jones, and yet having a gumption without a presumption to know what's going on. Then I can throw bananas at the global clowns and hear aristocratic moans. I wanna be crazy, crazy like Alex Jones. I went looking one day on the internet just to see what I could find, when I heard this talk show maniac just proudly speaking his mind. It was really wild, but the more I heard, it made a whole lot of sense to me. I want to thank you, Alex, for opening my eyes and helping the blind to see. I want to be crazy, crazy like Alex Jones, and yet having a gumption without a presumption to know what's going on. Then I can throw bananas at the global clowns and hear aristocratic moans. I wanna be crazy, crazy like Alex Jones. All the talking heads on the TV screen with an arrogant sophistication, talking about what's been going on around the world and here in our nation. They all seem to turn like a pack of wolves when Alex goes on the air. In spite of the facts, they launch their attacks, and I just don't think it's fair. I wanna be crazy, crazy like Alex Jones, and yet having that gumption without a presumption that no one's going on. Then I can throw bananas at the global clowns and hear aristocratic moans. I wanna be crazy, crazy like Alex Jones. Yeah, I wanna be crazy, crazy like Alex Jones.